All right. So then we'll get started here. Hey, Tama, do you mind if I just play a little clip from your launch video to be released on Tuesday?
Yeah, it's not quite finished yet, but we're all under, we're all among close friends. So
okay, it's only a 2-minute clip, but that was really well done. So I'm going to go ahead and share that.
That was hot. Oh.
Cool. That's a major movie you've made there.
Nice. You'll be scared not to rent it.
Yeah. Can't wait to see it.
The Netflix sequel is coming in 2022. That's cool. Well done.
Well, thank you. Well, you can see, the mega profits that we've made over all the years we've been in business have all been poured into that, and there's nothing left. So here we are.
no money to produce lights, but you've made a great film.
So has everybody here seen the prototype in person? Because you guys, I had a sneak preview on the prototype. Did everybody, did Mike and all you guys, did you guys get a chance to see that?
I saw it in a restaurant. It's good. I mean, very early form.
Have you turned it on, Bauman? Have you seen it on?
We did turn it on, but it wasn't, I don't think it was what the finished version is, but it was, I remember it scared the shit out of all the diners or whoever was there, the staff of the restaurant.
I think when these guys brought it by for us, we were on location on a restaurant as well. We cranked that thing up and, like always when we're shooting and they come by to show us a demo on a light, it's hard to break away from what we're doing and get a minute to take a look. But we did come by and I remember just thinking this light's a game changer. It's awesome.
For me, for multiple years, like it's always been aiming for output, and it's got that output. I mean, Jamie, we did the photometrics on it, didn't we? Just before we finished just before you all went home at the end of first round, and I think we're in the world of like it's punchy as hell.
Yeah, give me a second, I'll get them up. Yeah, it's punchy as hell.
I mean, I compare it to devices that I've used a lot, right? So I compare them a lot to the digital Sputniks. So we know that for many years, the DSs have had RGB and they've had punch and they've had, the ability to be pretty spotty. But this is close, if not kind of, it's got a slightly wider beam, I believe, but I think it's in the zone.
Yeah, it's a wider beam than the DS6, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Right. No, I think it's really great.
And the thing is that, I've talked to a few people about, the progression of lights, and like to me, it's really hard to actually make me excited about a new light because everything just does this and that and that and that and that and that, and so it feels to me like, you know, a few years ago, well, if everyone was doing bicolor, what, and then somebody did RGB, why is anyone doing bicolor anymore? It feels like RGB is the thing. Now I'm like, well, why isn't every light waterproof? I mean, really, like it's LED. Like, why is not every LED
wireless?
And wireless. We've like, you know, for the Creamsource skies, Jamie and I, the last 3 jobs or 4, I think we've used the Creamsource sky because we've had some wet work, either a wet stage, mostly, or an outside thing, mostly a wet stage, you know, either mist or rain, or, you know, the whole idea of being waterproof is, I mean, from my perspective, is incredible. Just having that punch, having that ability then to diffuse from that means that I can then add that diffuser. I'm not putting in the sky like a soft light, like I'm putting a punchy light that I can also, the fact that I can pixel map a little bit as well. That's incredible.
Yeah, I think that's a really handy thing. The ability, because then you can just as lights are being asked to do more and more, and you know, you need light to do more for visual effects or for whatever, or just creating more different qualities out of it. Pixel mapping is really a space where there's a ton of opportunity, and so it's really great that you've got that granularity in that thing, because there's 8 zones. Is it 8 zones? That's
8 zones. Yeah, that's right.
That's great.
Yeah, something punchy that can pixel map is really a game changer. Like something that actually has some serious throw.
It's versatility that is what we're looking for, and this thing takes all of the elements of things that have come before it and put it all into one package that obviously, Tama, you guys have done a great job designing, and we're looking forward to getting those on set. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, Mike. Yeah.
Agreed.
Much appreciated.
Sure.
We just got to get them out there.
The question of how's the availability looking as you're just launching this week?
Sounds like you're ready to issue a PO, Mike.
Not quite, because I need a job first. But how does your manufacturing look, and what would, you know, should we be thinking in terms of just getting a few to start, or, you know, if we have stages where we can put, you know, 50, 100, is that something that you guys are going to be able to help us out with? What do you think?
We're ramping to that kind of availability quite soon. Our first couple of runs, honestly, we're keeping them fairly contained just to make sure we've ironed out everything as well as we can, de-risk the project as much as possible, so that we're not, you know, running around the world trying to refit things if there's any issues. Yeah, so we're in our sort of sampling phase at the moment, and so our engineering sampling phase, and a very limited run in August, which is all basically accounted for. There's a few demo units that will be going out the world out of that, around the world out of that, and then through September and into sort of, you know, mid-October, we'll be cranking out our first fairly limited run. Once again, it's, you know, we're not at that point, we're not really mass producing on huge scale, but by the 3rd run, essentially, we'll be really cranking the handle. So that will be sort of towards the, you know, November, December, January period, when the next higher volume runs really start hitting.
Are you going to continue making the Doppio, Tama?
At this moment, it's kind of a funny question, because it's really interesting to me. We felt like after 11 years of it being in the market, that it would probably be seeing the end of its days fairly soon with this coming online. But it's bizarre, because we've day in, day out, the last, I don't know, 6 months, we've been getting orders for Doppios, and it's really amazing to me. It's actually picked up a whole lot.
We're still renting them, and actually in white, it's still about 15% brighter than Vortex, of course, especially the double daylight.
Yeah, it's a whole bunch narrower. So
is that's Tama, I was curious, is the Vortex the same emitter package as what's in the Creamsource Micro? Same color and all that? Okay.
Yeah. Essentially the same. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So they're really interchangeable. You can really mix them together really well. And I guess that just makes it sort of simpler.
Yeah.
A good
in
question
that
for me, too,
sense.
Tama, is the limited run that you're talking about in the first two phases, is limited means will we still be able to get our 60 to 80 units, or is it 20 or 5?
You have to fight us for it, Michael.
I knew it. Look, Tama, send the stuff west. Go to the West Coast first, and not to the UK first, because these guys already know what's happening here.
We are going to pummel those lights into submission, and you will hear very quickly. Yeah, I mean, we are going to be very respectful, of course, but I like to put my lights through their paces. But I must say, what I've seen, like I'm going to say, if I'm going to pummel a light, this is the light to pummel. I mean, the build quality is like incredible, beyond incredible, actually.
Should we pummel it with this?
Yeah, let's pummel.
No, don't do it. Okay, fine, do it.
Signature series.
Yeah.
Oh, nice shot, Tama.
Wait a minute, that was a Nerf ball.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that was the
control
Nerf ball.
panel.
Now it's this hit the control panel. This one right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you see
Good
that?
shot.
Yeah.
To make sure it doesn't bounce
Alright.
back on yourself. Don't
Yeah,
make it bounce
exactly.
back.
All right.
It was pretty much a direct shot on the control
Better
panel.
than, that's better than the
First
Tesla.
practice, he
that
broke the window
Tesla,
behind
that did
it.
that with the
Can
windshield.
you can you do a demonstration when the DOP cracks it and starts kicking lights around because it's not working for him?
Yeah.
Let's do that.
All right. So is it a headbutt first or?
No, you headbutt the gaffer's head into it.
Yeah, there you go.
Right. So yeah.
I drag him behind the back of the truck. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool, man.
No, it's very cool.
So yeah, it's pretty resilient stuff. It's this technopolymer we've been developing. This is one of the castings here, and so we've put this through pretty heavy testing, a lot of drop tests.
What do you think? I mean, realistically, if you dropped it from 6 feet, you're walking along, dropped it, like, I mean, you're saying it. Okay, so the back would be good.
Yeah, back's
If you
covered.
I like that. It's the Elon Musk demonstration.
Yeah.
It's good. It hasn't failed yet.
Yeah.
It'd be nice having a heat sink that doesn't bend. You know, or something that can take it. I have a whole truck full of bent LED lights.
What
Yeah.
what's the repair like? Like, what's the component like if you have to do repair on it?
Yeah. So these covers here, the cover that I just showed you, that comes off with this set of screws peripherally around each side, and so you can lift the covers up and get into service the drivers and the power supplies and the main electronics. So yeah, it's all pretty achievable that way.
Is it still waterproof then? Like, once you've done that, have you broken a seal by doing that?
Oh no. It's like, you know, aerospace grade kind of sealing technology. So we've got custom made seals that fit really tightly into a groove. So it's relatively easy to reassemble it after you've pulled it apart.
Yeah, that's pretty good, because on the Titan tubes, you have to be sort of an authorized repair center to make sure that it's still an IP65 unit once you repaired it, and there's a little trick to it. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
And have you tested these, Tama, actually submerged in a pool at any depths or anything like that?
Well, IP65 isn't really a depth rating. It's more for water jets and all kinds of directions. But yeah, I mean, it really can take a pretty severe dousing. We have actually tested it. We've tested all.
With the micro,
Yeah, I mean,
those, right?
Yes, and you know, we've done submersion tests for every part of this. There's disclaimers, like we're running in 240 volts here, and you know, this connector is not rated for submersion, so we wouldn't really recommend that. But I mean, yeah, it is rated for, you know, full IP, 65.
Drop some champagne on it.
Yeah, yeah, Martin Smith, I was chatting with him a couple of days ago, and he's like, what happens if you're rigging them in a moon box and you haven't got any rain protection and they're facing straight down and those fans are facing up all night? Well, this is what happens. Really,
That's
nothing
cool.
that interesting to report.
No. I mean, that's the thing. That's why, like, every time now I see a light that's not waterproof like that, I go, well, why isn't it waterproof?
Mm.
Yeah,
You know, it's a little. I know it's a little. I don't know, a little rude. But the thing is, you go, well, if you can, you know, because all this technology. I mean, but if we can make these things that waterproof, it's incredible.
Well, normally,
also, Greg, the same with the PSU being built into the lamp. Anyone else would be remiss to not build the PSU into the lamp now.
Yeah. It feels like that's the way we have to go forward, doesn't it? Like anything that doesn't do that, any lamp that doesn't do that, feels like it's extra. Mm.
Yeah.
So Jamie, Jamie, you have the
Jamie. I think.
Do you have the photometrics, mate, based on what we?
We only tested it against a DS6, exactly the same output as a DS6.
Right.
And at this diffused, it was like half a stop brighter than a DS6 through like a heavy diffusion.
Right.
At 70 feet. So
did we
it's
test
comparable. Go on.
Did we test it against the Sky panel?
I don't think we did. On that day,
We'll
I think we only tested against
when
the
we get
DS6. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do it when we get back. We'll try and come up with a very similar softness level between the two of them, and just check the output. I mean, what's the wattage of a DS6?
800 watts, isn't it, Mike? Do you know?
Yeah, I think each module is 100 watts, and then I think there might be some other in there. So yeah, I figure it's probably, this is what, 620? Is that what it is? 620 watts or 650 watts? Yeah, I think it's in the zone. So yeah, you know. But I mean, the fact that you said Jamie, did you say diffused? It was a half stop brighter than a DS6?
At 70 feet, yeah.
70, yeah, wow.
Yeah. But clean, it matched the DS all the way up to about 75 feet. Exactly the same photometrics as a DS6.
That's fantastic.
That is good. I just love this. I love the fact that you can do that to it, and suddenly it becomes a soft light.
Yeah.
To me, it's exactly what I've always wanted. In, you know, you put it up there and you just slide that on or slide it off if you want it softer or harder. Like, it's one thing I don't like about soft lights, soft LEDs, is that I can't sharpen them, I can't harden them up. You know? So, and I can't bounce them as well. I can't booklight them. Yeah,
right.
It's pretty wild. Now, Tama, if I wanted to join these together, we talked about this briefly, but I've forgotten. Like, if I want to make a line of them, or if I want to join them and make them sort of a one single source, like I have in the past with Mike on, Mandalorian, we built this thing we called the Beast, which was 48 heads. Mike, is that right?
Yes. Yeah.
48 single DS heads. Wow. Yeah, and it was a big single source, and it was pretty.
Right.
I think we did it on Vice first actually, and it becomes a soft sun. Effectively, becomes a soft sun.
Yeah, it was beautiful. You guys showed me it when I came out on set that day. It was a beautiful rig.
Yeah,
it was really impressive. A lot of cables.
Yeah,
and
mentioned the huge 4-wheel barrow that all the PSUs had to go on.
Yes, exactly.
Well, at least you didn't have to drive it. You didn't put it in the back of a truck. At least you could manually do it. But if to do something like
amazing source, really great.
So Tama, to do something like that here, because again, if you've got 30 of these things, obviously you can put 30 in the ceiling at 10 foot apart, or you can put them all together, or a line or something. Like, what are our options, and how close can those pixels get together?
Well, great question. We have an 8-point rigging system, which is 3/8 threaded holes on all of the corners, and so with that, we also have, and we're developing a rigging system which will allow you to do exactly what you're saying. And basically what that rigging system does, it's toolless. there's a pair of screws that you can put straight into these holes, and then you come straight off the back with a spigot, you know, a baby pin. So, and then that baby pin goes into a quad receiver. We've developed our own quad receiver, and so you can stack up to 4 units together into this, you know, and so that means you can basically tile in any direction you want.
Right.
Okay. So, yeah.
How far? Just my interest. How far are the pixels apart from each other when you eventually do that? Because part of the success of the DS rig was that the pixels got quite close together. I'm sure on mass it would be okay if they were about 1 inch or 2 apart.
Yeah, I bet they.
Yeah, it's going to be almost 3 inches between them, because you've got to allow a little gap for the rigging, and plus you've got, you know, the front of the unit here, which is like 1.5 inches to the edge of the emitters.
Is there a heat issue if you start stacking them?
So far we haven't really found a heat issue with that. The fans will crank up higher if there's, you know, really high ambient temperature, obviously. And this is the exhaust, so the hot air is flowing into the hot air and then, you know, finding its way out through the gaps.
It comes out through the back. It doesn't blow into the other light, right?
No, it does. It blows straight into the other light. So yeah, that hot air will go out and filter out through the gap between the lights. Yeah.
Tama, with regard to the fans, have you noise tested them, and how long can you run the lamp without the fan on?
Oh, thank you, Mike.
Oh, there you go.
Nice.
Yeah. How long can you run the lamp without the fan on?
And
Well,
do you
that's
have the option
a question.
Yeah.
Question
Can you
of
turn
ambient
the fan off or
temperature,
not?
Jamie.
Okay.
Yes, you can. You can mute the fans. But yeah, how long can you run them? I guess at 25 degrees C, it's probably around 5 minutes before they'll kick in at low.
Is that a DMX control on the fan?
Yes, of course.
Does this accept streaming ACN in?
It will.
Yeah.
Yep. That's
Okay.
that's the second part of the build that we're busy working on.
Yeah.
So yeah, first part is ArtNet, because that's a little easier. Second part is streaming ACN, and we're really aware of just how much people want it. So it's really high up the priority chain. Yeah.
Excellent.
I have a question about that array there. So you show it as many as 4, and then can you keep building on that, or is that kind of
absolutely? Yeah.
Just keep going, right? Modular, make it as big as you want.
Yeah. So the idea that the orange component at the back, that's the bottom half of a pipe clamp, and so you know you can run speed rail right across in either direction. Just depends which orientation you put the clamps, depending on which way you want to rig. And then yeah, you can just keep dropping in fixtures and the, you know, the 4-way clamps in between them.
And then the next question is, how's the weight on that? So like if we're putting them in aerial lifts, you know, how many can we put into configuration till we're going to start running into weight issues on our aerial lifts?
What are they? 30 pounds a piece, right? Is that what it was?
Mm-hmm.
Great, right?
30 pounds a piece. Yeah.
You could get
another game changer.
Yeah, 10 up there, no problem, man. 12.
Yeah, 16 maybe. 16?
Yeah, 16. You could.
Sure.
You could.
What does a sky panel weigh?
It's
40 pounds
it's
with
a little heavier.
Ballast
Heavier.
connected to it.
Yeah.
40 pounds with the ballast.
Yeah.
Tama, is there going to be a yoke configuration for this, like a double yoke or anything like that? You could like double stack them.
Yeah, we are planning to do that, Andrew. Probably a little further down the line, because I sort of see the rigging system as a bit more configurable and a little bit sort of easier to control out of the gate, and then we can see what kind of configurations people really want. Yeah, I would like to see a double yoke quite quickly, but I sort of put that as the next priority because it doesn't serve everybody's purpose all of the time, kind of
Sure.
thing.
But like you could almost do 3 vertically, 3 turned on their side, almost like an old 9-light configuration, that sort of thing.
Yeah, that'd be.
Yeah, and your
great.
yokes are really easy to assemble and disassemble. Probably the easiest in the business, I believe.
Nice.
Great,
so
Tama.
if you're not familiar with the quick release yoke system, I mean,
Oh, it's really
That's-
fantastic. I love it.
that's it there. I'm going to try and do this without dropping it on my toe. But yeah.
Here we go. Proto goes down.
But yeah, that's how easily you can remove the.
Tama, show them the locking
Yeah.
mechanisms on the accessory clips. I think that's really well designed, intelligent. Doesn't matter if they're locked or open, you can still slide accessories in. Interesting.
Sure thing. I just I'm disproving just how easy this is. Disproving.
Yeah.
So there we go. So let me zoom in a bit here on this. So this is our quick release latch mechanism for lenses and gels, or filters, domes, etc. This is it in its open position. When you touch the latches on the side, there's a little gold latch, one on each side of the fixture. It will open, and you see it because this little tongue lifts up a little. If you push it from the top, it's now in the lock position. And if I drop in my dome here at the front, I can push it straight past the latch because it swings both ways. And if I try and pull it out, you can see it's still in the lock position. I can then take my diffuser and drop that straight in the back behind the dome. So you don't need to mess around with the latches. Now, if I need to pull the diffuser out again, I simply touch the latches on the side and I can remove it. That's it.
Nicely designed.
Yeah, really nice design.
How many diffusions does it have? Is there just a frost, or are there multiple levels of panel that can go in front?
Like the Doppio and the Mini and the Micro, we will have a full range of holographic lenses. We're actually still busy developing the frame for that, and it's still going to take maybe another couple of weeks till we have the final prototype. But yeah, meanwhile, it's going to be shipping with a heavy frost as the standard kit diffuser, and then of course there's the dome that you can put in front of that, which is.
So can I see that
stock.
one that you've got in there now? Can I see? Is that an egg crate?
Yeah, so that's the 45 degree.
Can you throw a ball bearing at the egg crate?
You're a meanie.
That's cool. Hey, so Tama, who's going to have these in the UK? Like, if we need to get more in the next 6 months, on a weekly rental, not a long-term rental, like who will have these?
Oh, really good question.
Everybody should have them, but who will have them, of course.
Exactly.
Yeah. Look, right now, not entirely sure. Our partners there, LCA, working with a number of companies, and there's a bunch of individuals who have already put in purchase orders. But as far as I'm aware, none of the major rental companies have signed up yet.
Right.
So wait and see. It'll be pretty soon, I think. But,
I mean, it's all about pressure, isn't it? It's like, it's kind of.
It is.
Yeah. I mean, I know for a fact, that again, the rise of LED, people are always wary about where this rise is going to stop. So people are always wary about investing too much money in LED, as we know, because they're worried that they're going to get replaced next year.
That's right.
But I personally don't see a point now where, and you guys tell me if you think I'm wrong, but I think we've plateaued here. Like, yes, you might get a bit more output, right, next year. and you might get a few extra features, and it might get this or that. But what else do you need beyond this? This to me is like the peak of what we need in a light this size. Like, yes, more output for sure, but I mean, what else is there? What else is there really? I mean,
Yeah, the obstacle curve is really leveling out. It was very steep at first.
It's a really good question, Greg, and it's one we've poured over extensively while we've been building this fixture. We could have put in more pixels. We could have probably squeezed in more drivers and squeezed in more colors. But then again, you've got to fight the diminishing return of, so the dollar per watt ratio. And when you start adding in more and more drivers to drive more pixels or drive more colors, you've got to justify that against its primary purposes of the white light source. So that becomes, sort of the overall defining factor that ultimately is an economic one. In my opinion. So you kind of just got to pull the trigger when you think you've got a good balance. Yeah.
So what you're saying is probably, I mean, to people who are looking at buying it, like rental houses, like, yes, you could have more output in the future. In 10 years, we're having the same Zoom call. In 10 years, there's a COVID 2029 or something, and we're sitting in the same. And we're looking at the same size fixture. Maybe it's a little bit lighter, but not much lighter, right? Because it's much lighter, it's going to be not going to be strong. You might have pixel mapping on every single pixel. You might have smaller pixels to make it more, more pixel mappable. Still waterproof, but I mean, what else is there? Like, ultimately, this is the point that I'm getting at, is like, to me, this is the point where if you're looking at purchasing LEDs, this is the point where you do it, because like this is going to stay as good as it is right now forever. And it's bloody good. So like,
yeah. Cause I think like, when you look at like the success of like DS, when we were always using it, was, it's really the only punchy LED on the market that's really has that unique quality, and so that really was just everyone was going more soft rather than going for this. And so I remember the first time I was using the Doppios was when we did the Gambler, Greg, and it was I was like, wow, here's something that's punchy. And then once it became, between that and the micro color, it was like, okay, now you've got, the ability to introduce a wider Kelvin range, but this with the fact that this is going to be something that's a scalable solution that is, and in close, you've got less parts that you're dealing with. It's an internal power supply and all that. So it's going to be very interesting to see, like, somebody who's going to build the, I know I'm going to see a picture from you guys, Jamie and Greg. It'll be like 20 of them in some rack that you'll have attached to a crane or something. And it's going to be pretty sick.
But yeah, that's a good idea.
So it's coming.
Even just as a Instagram page. No.
Absolutely.
But that's the type of thing, like, I gotta say, like 20 of those things on a condor would be wild. It'd be literally wild to see what that could do for a sun. Like, if you think about it, 20 of those, I mean, how many, we had 48 pixels in the beast, right? Which is the equivalent of about 9 of these.
Yeah.
So you get 20 of them. I mean, we're double the output on that. And the punch on that, I mean, we're talking about like almost replacing soft sun, right? Like Oh,
no, definitely. And I think the thing is too, is when you're, especially because you could take that and you could mix up, like, maybe you diffuse some of them, maybe you keep some of them hard. So you've got a couple different qualities you can generate out of that, or a little more spread or something like that. Because with consoles, the way consoles are going now, it's so easy to pixel map stuff. It's not a big deal anymore. And so it's like, with networking and all that, it's like you drop a node in the top of the bucket of the Condor and go nuts.
Yeah.
Really interesting. It's
we need more of them. That's the thing. So to get 20,
get cracking there, Tama. Start making them.
We are every day.
Worldwide
machining them downstairs as we speak.
No, because it's like you guys have a unique opportunity, because, like, okay, Area is going in the direction of more of a multifunction PAR type of thing with the orbiter. And there's some very interesting color science in that, and low end dimmability. And I think, to speak to what Greg you said earlier, is like, where's the next area people are going to go into? It's going to be into kind of like, hey, get the low end color mixing better, better dimming, all that kind of stuff. but there's nobody who's really stepping into like, let's just get lots of grunt, lots of output and pixelization. And I think that's where this light is really going to be an excellent asset, you know.
Yeah, we just have to get them out there, Bauman. Like we just have to, it has to get out there in quantity so that
Quantities.
when we request them, they're not 4 times the cost of a different light, you know. Because that's if they're approximation about the same price, then it's a no-brainer. If they're double, then the mathematics are going to come to it, and we're going to say like, well, do you get 100 of those or 200 different ones? You know, like it's
because it is going to be a thing like you're saying of quantity, because it's like that's one thing that is you can get like, you know, oh, I need 100 sky panels. Okay, no problem. You know,
yeah.
And they've been, you know, it used to be what Image 80s used to be like. All right, get 100 Image 80s, no problem. And now it's so this will be once people start getting into it and start, you know, and as you ramp up manufacturing, it's gonna be great. Very exciting.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Well done.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, team. Amazing feedback and really really great to hear your views in person and see everybody and watch everyone dialing in. So very cool. Thank you.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Does
congratulations.
anybody have any other little questions or anything?
You gonna do a half size?
Thank you, Mike.
Yeah, mini.
Yeah.
Like mini version.
Well, I'm not supposed to tell you yet, so.
Oh.
So what is that?
Oh, you just did.
We'll have to see. Have to wait and see.
You know, because I think what was great about the Creamsource Micro was the fact that you know, and it was at a price point that a lot of people could get into it and invest in the platform.
Right.
And
Right.
you know, and so it's a good starter drug, you know.
Yeah.
What's this retailing at, Tama? What's your recommended retail? US.
4,999 USD.
Awesome.
Where's that compared to the Sky panel?
Sky panels are like a grand, right? 7,500.
So 5850 is what it hits the street for.
Yeah, that's like, I guess,
Yeah.
the B&H price.
Yeah, it's well, that's the MAP is the advertised price would be 5850, so it's close to $6,000.
Yeah. So this is going to be five listed.
5.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So yeah, at the sort of comparative MAPs, this delivers you like $7.69 a watt versus like $14 a watt for you know, the other brand.
Yeah, it's double.
Yes, that blue and silver brand. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't say who. It's a mystery.
Awesome.
Maybe you answered this before, but I don't remember. How many pixels are in the unit, or is it all on just one?
8. Yeah.
Does that break up into sections?
Yeah. It's got I think 8 total.
Yeah.
Is it 8? Wow, that's great. Yeah, another great attribute to the light. To
Yeah.
have.
It's like 8 micros, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's
great.
exactly that. Yeah.
More versatility and awesomeness.
That's so cool, dude. I want to have more of a play with this.
How much RAM is on board that thing?
Ah, great question. I think there's, I think it's like 2 megabytes or something. Yeah.
Okay.
It's
Megs?
expandable. So.
Oh, it's
megs.
expandable. Oh, it's
yeah,
expandable.
yeah, it's expandable.
And
Okay.
Tama, for firmware updates, it's file based, so just throw a USB stick into it.
Yeah, so there's the whole drive system and everything. So yeah, the USB-A port for standard thumb drives. Yeah.
Great. And obviously, it's a TMO 2 CRMX built in, so you don't need an antenna.
TMO 2 CRMX, and yeah, we've been doing a bunch of antenna placement testing, of course, in the final weeks, and we've found that the signal strength, even with the internal antennas, is pretty good because of these technopolymer back covers.
Metal.
So that's kind of the
problem. All right.
Yeah, metal's the real issue. Yeah.
And what's the input? That port next to that you've got next to the is that DC in?
That's DC 48 volts.
48 volts.
And
okay.
Yeah, and so actually the unit's hot swappable. It's got a hot swap controller built in, so you can run it on a battery at the same time as you got the AC plugged in. So if you need to run a light next to camera, or you need to move something, or you've got a cable running across your shot, you just drop your battery in and off you go. That's the idea with that, and you don't have to repower the fixture and find your settings again, whatever you're doing. Yeah.
Gotcha. Cool. Very cool.
Well done.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, great. Well done, Tama.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Jamie. Thanks, team. And thanks everybody for all your amazing inputs into this, and all of the other things we've been building over the years. You've all contributed and given us incredible feedback, and that's so valuable to us, and it means the world, and it's what's kept us alive and kicking and inspired to keep building things like this. So that's really all of your input from all of you. So thank you so much. It's amazing.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Mm.
Welcome.
All right, mate.
Excellent.
Good to see you guys.
See everyone.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Guys.
Yeah, it was really great.
Stay safe.
Thanks for joining us. Really great demonstration, Tama. Thank you for this. You guys, it was quite an honor to have all you guys from all over the world on one Zoom chat. I'm not sure we'll ever be able to do that again as soon as we get busy, but it's quite iconic.
Well lasted, you know?
2029, Michael.
Yeah.
2029. COVID 2029.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
Sounds
Take
about
care.
right.
All right, gentlemen.
Cheers.
Thank you.
All right.
Guys. Have a
Take
good
care.
weekend.
Take it easy. See you guys. Bye.
Cheers.
Cheers. Bye.
Last person who hangs up gets a free Creamsource.
Oh, staying on.
Nice
All
work.
right.
Seriously, it's really nice. Looks great.
Thank you, Mike.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be good. I can't wait to play with it. So
Yeah, can't wait to get a bunch of units there and in your hands.
we'll send you a
A
PO,
lot of
Mike.
fun.
No, thank you. I
You
appreciate
got
it.
a PO? You have any POs for it yet?
Yeah, I have 60 on order and growing. So, and I know Tom was going to give priority to those that give prepayments. So I'm scrambling up all the cash and breaking the piggy banks right now.
Ah, okay, good to know. All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
So,
All
Mike,
right, excellent.
thank you so much for coming on, supporting us. I really appreciate you very much. Can't tell you how much that means to us, actually.
Absolutely. Thanks for.
And
thanks.
we love, we got your light mats in the showroom. Paul's getting me a Spectrum in next week. So
Oh, cool. Great.
we're going to be
Yeah.
showing that around.
I was saying to somebody, I think what
Yeah.
the future lighting package is going to be, it's going to be, it'll be, I say it's going to come down to like 5 or 6 lights. People will have their Astera tubes. People will have, there'll be some sky panels still. There'll probably be, I think the Orbiter,
Sure.
we'll see once that thing gets out, but then it's going to be Vortexes, and it's going to be like whatever your preferable soft source is, like big soft thing. And that's like, that's what the future is going to be of this whole thing.
I tell you, that's the packages that we're seeing out of here for Gaffers, $60,000 to $100,000. They're sky panels, they're Asteras, they're light mats, and for us, it's of course a lot of Creamsource. But yeah, it's really starting. The air is starting to get thinner around, and you can see who's actually going to kind of stand the test of time in the showroom. I got a lot of old LEDs in my museum. Tom was asking me to do a proper museum with all the shit I have. I got like Frieder's first attempt at a 1x1, which is the Kelvin tile. I got LEDZs, but they end up staying in the showroom, and then a couple years later, my Cineo remote phosphors, they got to get out of the showroom. But I'll tell you what, that Doppio for 11 years has still been in this showroom, and it's still relevant. It's still a great build, and it's probably the best LED I've owned in my realm department because I have 0 issues, not 1 issue with it.
Yeah, I mean, Thomas, seriously, your guys' build quality is phenomenal. That's like the one thing of your lights that like people always have commented to me on. Just the touch and feel is really well done. And so that's, whether that's you designing it or whoever on your team, it's like hats off to them.
That's Tama. Tama's the mechanical.
Oh, there you go.
For sure.
It's great
Thank
work.
you, Mike.
It really is. And the use of
Thank you.
materials. I mean, I'm just saying that from the manufacturing end, it's like, it's really phenomenal. So
Thanks so much. We really love all the sort of different materials, and sometimes my team has to rein me in because I'm like, no, I want to try that process. That looks really awesome. They've got huge machines for that process. It's so much fun. Come on, let's go visit the factory, and then we go and we see what they're doing, and we incorporate it. That's the fun of doing this part.
You're
This
having
end
a
of the
lot of fun,
business.
Tama. I can see that.
Yeah.
What time is it there?
Oh, 1
I
a.m.?
have no idea.
It's like 2 in the morning.
No,
Where are you, Hong Kong?
yeah, it's 2 now. Yeah, upriver from Hong Kong. Yeah,
Yeah. All right.
yeah.
Well, good, mate. Well, I can't wait to, I got a movie that's starting at the end of August, supposedly in town here. So
Oh, cool.
Oh, great.
as those come in, those would be good tools to put on it once
Oh,
they get.
first on the list, of course. So
Hey,
you
man.
get them, you get them.
We'll give you a PO on Monday, no problem.
Sweet.
Yeah. Mhm.
Appreciate it. We
And-
actually really appreciate it in these times.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Look, it's all about, I get it. Right now, for all of us, manufacturing, sales, whatever, it's all about like, just getting the business back to like spending money again and making movies. And all. It's just like we're all at.
Yeah, I think there's a positive sign. It looks like there's a lot of positive signs that's coming back, and the worst hopefully is behind us, and we've learned how to deal with this. So if there is another surge, we still know how to at least operate through it now. So that's
Just
my
wear their
opinion.
masks. Wear their masks. Just wear a fucking mask.
Just wear a mask. What's the problem? Wear the fucking
Wanna
mask.
work?
Yes. Jeez.
It's
It's unbelievable.
really simple. And
Yeah.
it makes a huge difference.
Yeah, big time. Big time.
I mean, I really think the biggest difference it makes is it stops people touching their faces.
Exactly.
And it's when you touch your face and you go and touch doorknobs
Yeah.
and push buttons in elevators, that's transmission.
You know, I didn't realize how much
Uh-huh.
I touched my face until I was conscious of it, and I kept on stopping myself. I'm like, holy shit, I touched my face a lot.
Yeah, and like you said, it's just like it's common surfaces, and it's just just being cognizant of all that, and it's just it's an adjustment. It's an adjustment, but it's how we're gonna.
We have to move forward this way.
You guys are doing it there. I mean, in Hong Kong, it's like, you guys are. I mean, you can do it.
Yeah.
Everyone can do it. You can do it here in the U.S.
Yeah.
You know?
Not a problem. It's not an invasion of anything. It's just
No,
being
exactly.
cautious.
Just please. Anyway, all right, guys. Well, thanks so much. Take
All
care.
right. All right, I'm gonna
Thanks a lot, Mike. Really appreciate it.
I'm gonna outdo you.
Yeah. All right. Take care.
All right, Mike.
Good man.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Thanks a lot.